But how do you create a Halloween card when you don't have any Halloween supplies? Yeah, take a look in your stash and see what you can come up with and draw inspiration from the things that you love. Here we go. Today's inspiration comes directly from my craft room as I look at my Mickey Mummy popcorn bucket and my candy corn ears. Hey y'all, it's Wendy from Village Card and Crafts. With the season of spooky spirited fun finally here, I wanted to create a Halloween card. However, I wanted it to be more Disney, less spooky. So I was thinking about the Disney's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and that's where I began my adventure. So I've created a sweet little jar of candy corn. This first card that I'm sharing with you has a lot of deep textured background to provide interest. In my next card that we're going to demonstrate making, I use less intense textures. I begin by using a piece of orange cardstock that is 3.75 inches by 5 inches, and a piece of pattern paper that is 2.5 inches by 5 inches. As you can see, the orange pulls through to both spots. And then I'm going to use one of my Stampin' Up! Wrapped in Dots embossing folders to create some texture for the top panel. I'm simply lining up my embossing folder to the edge of where the pattern paper begins because I only want to give texture to that orange section. I've run it through my Spellbinders Platinum 6 embossing machine, and there I've got some lighter texture than on my original card. Using my Barely Art Precision Glue, which is my glue of choice, I'm going to go ahead and adhere the pattern paper down to the bottom section of the card and give it a good press. I used Spellbinders label number 18, and I did use the largest die here as it fit my jar die perfectly. I embossed my purple cardstock with a Wrapped in Texture Stampin' Up! Embossing folder. Any embossing folders that you have in your stash would work perfectly as well. I die cut one of my jars from white cardstock, and then I'm going to recut out just the top portion of that same jar out in silver paper, and that's going to give my jar the silver lid that I was looking for. I cut away any portion of the lid that I didn't want, and I'm going to adhere that to my white jar with the same Barely Art glue. With the foundation pieces of our card nearly ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and start making candy corn, y'all. You need 3 circle dies. I've chosen to use a 1.5 inch, a 1 inch, and a 1/2 inch die. I'm going to cut the largest circle out in yellow, the second circle in orange, and the smallest circle in white, and then adhere them one on top of each other. While the beginnings of our candy corn are starting to harden, we're going to go ahead and put our panel together by adhering that purple piece directly to the top of the orange and green panel, and then by adhering our jar directly to the top of the purple panel. send some pixie dust by giving me a thumbs up, subscribing, and ringing that notification bell. I've chosen the sentiment Sweet from the Sweet Set Spellbinders die cutting set for the top of my candy jar. I've decided to use my paper trimmer to help cut my candy corn into even amounts. So I'm just going to eyeball it, split that circle right in half, and then each of those sections in half again. And then with scissors, I'm going to cut it into eighths. So by the time you end up, you should have 8 pieces of candy corn. While crafting can get expensive, it doesn't have to be. Check out my mini craft haul right up here and see how I save money. You could pop the orange piece up on foam, but I left it flat because it will be going through the mail and I wanted the least amount of bulk possible. When I glued my candy corn into my jar, I just made sure that they were going every which way because I wanted to look as if it was just tumbled into the jar. I also left a few pieces out to scatter along the bottom of my card. All this talk of sweet treats, and I got to thinking, what's my favorite Disney sweet treat? Let me know what yours is in the comments below. After completing this card, I went ahead and topped my candy corn with some glossy accents to give it just a little bit of shine and pop. There you have it, a sweet treat Halloween card without using any Halloween supplies whatsoever. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you real soon.